I think it is a huge thing, right?
Mhm.
One addict, one alcoholic affects a lot of people. So, not just the moms, right? The dads, the brothers, the sisters. It's a family disease. It's a family disease.
And honestly, I think it's important too for the addict, alcoholic to hear this side of it, because when we are in our disease, we don't realize the people we are hurting. We don't see that, we don't care about that. So I think this is important to see, that you are hurting more than just yourself.
No question.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, we want to know, when did you know that your daughter had a problem with alcohol and drugs? Was that something that came up right away in her addiction, or did that happen slowly over time?
I would say I knew that she had a problem with alcohol way early in her teenage years, right? When she first started drinking, um, I knew it was a problem because I would say you were about 13, and it wasn't like she would have a couple beers, right? Brittany's always had a very vibrant, fun personality all the time. And alcohol, of course, puts you there. And I think that it wasn't just like beer, especially at that age. I look back at it when we were young, right? And which was years and years and years ago. We would get like beers and like this lime flavored got vodka that would make you sick. Well, nowadays they make it like Kool-Aid. And they make it like fun looking, and it's like um hers was, I can remember, like,
which it is for a lot of people. It's really fun for a lot of people, and
yeah,
it's not for
and but when you're 13 and I wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night, and she's having a few friends over, and Brittany's always had a lot of friends, not one or two, a lot of friends, right? So it was always like, Mom, can I have a few friends over? And my husband used to laugh and joke, and he would be like, oh, like all 450 of your MySpace friends?
Yeah. I don't, yeah, and all my 1 million friends on TikTok.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, can I? And so she's always had this fun, colorful personality to be around. Well, you add a little bit of alcohol to it and it gets to be more fun. Well, but, they're sneaking out of the house, I think that there must have been like 4 screens my husband had to keep fixing on the windows and the doors.
Oh,
I would wake up in the morning or not in the morning, like 3 or 4 in the morning, because I hear these footsteps all over the house. I caught one of your friends hiding in the closet one time, and there's muddy foot, and they would take their bikes and head off and
miles in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And get blackout drunk in a tent, like from the beginning. Like drinking was never about never just like chill for me and like 1 or 2. It was always.
Yeah. So, when you're 13 and you don't come home and I have to go looking for her, and, I knew it was a problem.
You said you could see it in my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone is always, everyone close to me, meaning you and husband, ex-husband, like I can have like 1 sip of alcohol and it's like very clear.
Yeah. And even, she, like I said, she's an extrovert. So just adding that to it, the alcohol to it, she's a fun person to be around, right? So of course, we struggled, like my husband and her dad and I, we struggled with that throughout her teenage years. It's like, if we said, white, she said black.
Yeah.
You know?
It was, I was like very, very stubborn, and like, I was going to do what I wanted no matter what. Like, there was nothing that they could have done. They couldn't have been more strict, because I would have just done my own thing anyways. Like, I pray to God my children do not end up like me, like anything but me. Because I was
Wow.
yeah,
Sorry. Newsflash.
right?
Just taken from another mom with, in recovery, dealing with much better dealing in recovery. I do want to say that if you're in recovery and you're young like yourself and you got young kids and you grow up, it's much easier to handle it when you're sober yourself and understanding a disease. No
Yeah.
question. Mhm.
Understanding the disease, I think, is a huge importance, right? Understanding it. I didn't understand it at that time, even though I grew up with family members, and I didn't understand how to deal with people. There's things that you learn. I've learned throughout the years, dealing with her, and even my husband, who is in recovery. I don't know, what, 17 years now.
Oh, wow.
There's no, like, don't even think about arguing with somebody under the influence. You're not going to get anywhere at all.
Yeah. So how old was I when Dad got sober? 15?
17 or 18.
Okay.
You were a senior in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, a senior in high school.
Mm.
And
So you saw your husband got into recovery, and you witnessed that too, Brittany, obviously. Was it?
This is hard. I don't know if I would call Dad being in recovery. My dad is sober. He doesn't drink, but he's never worked any sort of program.
Yeah.
He never went to treatment. My dad literally was able to quit cold turkey, which I think that was so hard for him to understand, why it's been so hard for me, and why I need to go to detox and rehab, and I need meetings and people and all of this, because like, he was just able to quit cold turkey.
But he's an introvert.
Yeah.
And you're not, right? Like, I think he actually drank to socialize, right? Because we had a lot of friends, and we would go out and go to parties and blah blah blah.
I don't remember that from Dad though. I remember his drinking by himself at home.
Right, because that's when you guys were kids, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't go out as much because we were so involved with our kids. But he's more of an introvert, right? He's totally, and you are not. She has always, whether she was drinking or not, always loved people. You feel more comfortable being around a crowd than you do by yourself. That's a big difference, like, there, but a personality.
But getting sober, honestly, that was really hard for me at the beginning, because I had totally lost myself at the end. I only knew myself with alcohol. I only knew how to work with alcohol. Like, all of my work I would do, my photography work, hair, everything was always done with alcohol. If I wanted to make a phone call to someone, I had to have alcohol in me to talk. If I wanted to post a picture on Instagram, I had to have alcohol in me. So like, getting sober, that was really scary for me, because I remember thinking like, oh, I'm going to be so boring. I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, that definitely took a few months. I have a friend that just got out of treatment, and she's like, I'm really depressed. Like, is this normal? And I'm like, yeah, it's normal, but you have to stick through it. Like, you'll get stronger, and, you'll learn who you are. And
We are anything but boring. Oh my gosh. Like, watching you on TikTok and everything, it is so refreshing just to see how much fun and joy you're bringing into your life in recovery, and for your kids too, and how excited they are. I'd really love to know, when, especially with your dad, did he have like a drinking problem? Was it a problem? Was it an issue? Or was it just a little bit excessive? And with him quitting drinking and finding his own kind of path to recovery, whatever, how did that affect your own journey into recovery? Like, did you think you could do it on your own because you saw him do it? Did you kind of resent him for it and drink at him, or how did that affect your recovery?
honestly, that's a good question. I honestly didn't really compare my problem with his. I think because when I started getting sober at 19, when I first went to treatment for the first time, I didn't really want it. Like, that bad, you know, like I knew I had a problem, but like I made sure to let everyone know in treatment that I only had a problem with cocaine. Like alcohol was not my problem because I wanted to make sure when I got out of there I could still drink. And I don't remember, like, I don't know. There were some things like, you know, I feel like when with my dad, even with me, when you drink and you get angry, you know, like that kind of comes out. And so I think like that was always kind of a, like I held that a little bit against him, but and oh man, the amount of times that I tried to do this on my own is like, actually, that's like my next TikTok video I'm going to make is about how many times I tried to do it on my own. You know, like I tried so hard when I was 19, after I went to treatment for the first time, I literally bought a one-way ticket to California. I came out here one way to get sober on my own. No destination plan, nothing. I came out here alone, 19 years old, and I was going to get sober on my own. Like, I don't know why I thought that that was a good idea. I've just always thought that I could do it, you know, like my way or the highway. And it's really taken a lot of years and learning to realize that like my way didn't get me anywhere. And yeah, that was.
So how is that for you, Mom? I mean, I'm a mom. I mean, knowing I'm guessing at 19, from 13 and 19, I'm guessing you're figuring out pretty clearly that Brittany had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol. And now all of a sudden your daughter's up in a plane and away from you. Like, what were you going through? How did you cope through that?
By the time she was like 19, so that was after you went to Aveda, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So by then you had already I'm not sure. I don't remember if you had went to like Phillips a couple different times.
I forgot what that was called. I only went there once,
yeah,
right?
in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I went to treatment once in Wisconsin.
But we had already, you know, been through quite a bit. And so, I mean, by then, right?
Because when I drink, I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
That was like, I was known for that. Like, Brittany's going to the psych ward again. Brittany's going to the hospital. Cops are coming to our house because I want to die when I drink.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one time we actually had to call the sheriff and they had to come in and they actually took the taser out because, and they kept telling her, you know, you need to put the knife down or we're going to taser you, because she had sliced herself up quite good. So it's horrifying, you know. But that's when her and I actually started doing a lot of research and, you know, looked at, and it started coming up that, okay, these are signs of borderline personality disorder. You know, you're not trying to harm somebody else. You're feeling so low about yourself that you think that you don't deserve to live. Right. So that's all of a sudden when you start realizing that it's not just a drug and alcohol issue. Now it's affecting your mental health. The two go hand in hand, whether, you know, mental health starts the drugs and alcohol, or, you know, through depression or anxiety, or the alcohol and drugs starts the mental illness. You know, it's they go hand in hand, and that's what we saw. And, you know, once you start, at least back then, once you started going down the whole, okay, now she's got mental health issues, not just drug and alcohol rehab centers at the time, most of them didn't do dual diagnosis. So once we started looking at it, we were like, okay, you know, there's some down in Florida that have dual diagnosis, some in California. So that's where I actually started looking at, and her and we were just like shocked. You know, we're looking this stuff up on the internet and going, oh my gosh, this is what's happening to her, that, you know, she's feeling so bad about herself. And, you know, it doesn't help when you have people that, you know, when they're getting so drunk, passing out in blackout states, you know, criticizing you and bringing you down even farther, right?